Good morning. So far, I'm only showing the intro slide and just trying a new way of doing webinars, but hopefully, let me see the notification. Okay, social media algorithms, mastering the platform. So we got YouTube going, and now I got happening now on LinkedIn as well. Cool. Can I hear myself? Just trying a new way of doing webinars. Yeah, it's cool. I got myself going. I can hear myself. I think I'm just gonna shut off the Wi-Fi for my phone, save bandwidth on the hotel Wi-Fi, and here we go. Then let's see. Let me switch to me. How do we do that here? Well, we go to pop up. Yes, no. Okay. Where am I? Where am I? Oh, I'm on the one screen thing, so I gotta go to this one. Okay, here. Boom. Let me switch. Good morning. So we're ready to begin. I've prepared a presentation for everybody, and I did use for the first time. I'm testing the Gamma. I did a um, I did a post with it, the carousel. That was pretty cool. Worked out well. There's still some tweaks that's got to be done to it when this within the system and stuff like that. But we'll see. So here's the presentation. So today I want to talk about. Let me get back to Gamma. Gamma is a new AI tool that I'm experimenting with. They said it's free. Well, it's free only for 400 credits. For example, a presentation is 40 credits, and then once you run out those credits, you get either you have to invite friends, or you just pay like $8 a month if it's annual, $10 if it's just monthly. So, if you want to create a bunch of presentations or whatever else, pay the $10, do 20 presentations in 1 month, and you got for $10, you got material for the whole year. So, or for a couple of months ahead anyway. So yeah, so it's a pretty cool tool, and it's got a lot of adjustments, a lot of settings. I mean, I do use AI carousels a lot, but now I'm just running with Gamma. Hey, why not? So let's begin. Let's switch the screen. Let me come off. I'm going to read the text and I'm going to comment on it. I mean, this is 100%, well, okay, 99% AI generated. I think it's 100%. I don't think I touched the presentation at all, other than on the banner. I changed something, but change the colors and the size of the font. Anyway, so here it is. Here's the presentation, and I'm going to just read the slide and then comment on it and stuff like that. So let's begin talking about uh, the fun stuff, the AI, the social media algorithms, mastering the platform. What I've done is I've built platforms on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and with my son, Karel Mergel IV. You can follow him, the Glober Productions YouTube channel, where this is running as well. So you can check it out there. So, ready to dominate social media? This guide compares algorithms across major platforms and reveals best practices for each. I'll be exploring LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, uncovering the hidden patterns that drive engagement and visibility. Let's start. Right, the first thing here, the fundamentals of social media. I would probably reverse that, but hey, I mean, I believe that content is a big thing for I guess for the algorithm. I guess this is the right way to do it because it's content curation, relevancy, recency, relationship. Don't really understand the relationship what the AI meant there, but it's relevancy, recency, and relationship. Relevance is it, and that's important for, especially for example for YouTube and for anything. So, for example, if it's election day and you post anything outside of election, you're no matter how good your content is, it's not going to really impact the algorithm's decision making on running it. Because if you want, always run the news. If you want to get the most out of your engagement, run the news. So if the number one topic of the day is election, well, guess what? You're going to have to figure out how to tie your content into elections. This one I can go on here. So, and then the next one is machine learning. Well, it adapts to behavior patterns. Why is it adapt to behavior patterns? And this is one thing that you can't really influence, but just study and follow and try to use it to your benefit. Because users' habits change, they change on daily basis, they change on monthly basis. There's routines, and so you basically just want to be adapting to it, and you just want to use it to your advantage, but you don't have much control over it. I mean, like I said, for example, with the content, you could do it because that day people will be searching. Whatever 80% of searches will go for, whether it's YouTube, whether it's SEO, whether it's your website in the Google search engine. People will be searching for whatever is in the news. That's always the top. I mean, after all, you have trending on every single platform now. Has some sort of trending ticker. Like I'll look at LinkedIn, my LinkedIn right now, for example, and I'll go to homepage. And what does it say? Top stories: Boston Celtics sell for 6.1 billion. So it's got 52,000 readers. So if you want to be good at, if you want to have a lot of impressions, tie something into the Boston Celtics. But it can be tough because you would have to go out of your zone or out of your topics, and your audience that follows you will be a little disassociated. So not always is the best idea. Anyway, home sales jump unexpectedly, 38,000 readers. Those are the things people look for. Trump orders education department closed. I could actually do Control 5 because for some reason it didn't change since yesterday. So if you hit Control 5 on the, what do you have? Oh yes, now it's updated. By hitting Control 5, you can have an updated one because sometimes the cage and stuff is just today's news. That was yesterday's news. Today's news: workforce confidence hits new lows. 49,000 readers. Heathrow shuts, halting flights. 40,000 readers. White House orders education department closed. Again, comes at number 3 today. 36,000 readers. 500. DoorDash debuts Eat Now, Pay Later. I guess some kind of a layaway plan. 10,000 readers. Perplexity targets 18 billion valuation. 3 hours ago, 3,700 readers. So here's the topics you can write about and get more impressions. Will it help your brand? Will it help your messaging? Hard to say. Probably not in most cases. So you want to leave that alone. But if you're chasing the large numbers, I'm not. Go for that. And then the next one, the social media algorithms take into consideration is the user engagement. And I would say I would almost reverse that because I'd say user engagement is the number one thing. Why? Because it's very simple. The only thing that algorithm cares about is your time. Algorithm wants only your time. So if you want to please the algorithm, do something that will create or that will force people to spend more time on the platform. So that's why it adapts to the behavior. I mean, my ticker is probably different from many other people because I read about different topics than you do. But yeah, this goes sort of with your audience, with a lot of stuff. So follow the news and do user engagement because user engagement is the only thing that the algorithm cares about and will push you if it gets higher screen time. I know the presentation gets into a little bit later, so I want to pass that up. But these are the basics about the algorithm, and I would say the engagement really should be sitting at the top, and that would be the base of the pyramid because it's a social media platform. So that means the social aspect is the most important. And why do they like screen time, the algorithms? Because of ad revenue. Simple. If you don't know, follow the money. Next slide. Let's see what the AI has brought for us. LinkedIn algorithm. Here is one that it's funny because the AI that generated this is, of course, where does it learn? It's a machine learning thing, so it learns from LinkedIn and from other people that post online. So it will tell you all these things that you can read yourself everywhere else. And that's why if you just generate this and post it, again, you will not get any engagement because there is no added value to it. This is something that everybody can do for themselves in a minute. So if you want to increase people's or the people's usage to by spending time on your content, add some value. Because this thing took me 2 minutes just to generate. I mean, some settings with the colors or whatever else, but generally all the information is pulled out from the internet by the AI. And guess what? Everybody else can use it too, so they'll get the same thing. So first 60 minutes, there is a big debate. LinkedIn algorithm, professional networking. On 60 minutes, critical engagement window determines visibility. Yes and no. From my experience, I have posted and ghosted and came back, and we've done a YouTube video. First 60 minutes, it got nothing. And it was interesting because the whole year we spent doing it was we had videos that we put out at, let's say, so it was about the timing and your audience and stuff. And so we put out a video at 10 a.m. It got a boost first couple of weeks, actually, just kept getting boosts exactly 6 hours later into the feed. I guess that's how the algorithm tests you, if you're worthy and stuff, and then it waits for the audience to show up. And that's the aspect you can't control. You don't control when people go online and stuff. And the same thing for the algorithm. It doesn't care. It just wants the people to see your content, to work with it. So to engage with it, read it, stay on the platform. So if it keeps them on the platform, doesn't matter if you got 1 million followers or if you got 1,000 followers. If your content gives the algorithm what it wants, what it hungers for, which is increased screen time, it will show your content more than somebody who's got 1 million followers. It will not look like that because the guy with 1 million followers and 10% engagement will still increase more time because, of course, he's going to give 100,000 reactions or engagement of people, increase screen time. But if your content is really good, it could come close to those numbers. So you got to look at it in proportion. Can't compare yourself. Can't compare your impressions and your engagement with somebody who's got 10 times the followers. Use the percentages. Is 5% engaging, 10%, 20%, 30%? Because if you have 1,000 followers and your content gets 300 impressions, that's 30%. If the guy has 1 million followers, whoever it is, and he gets only 10%, that's 100,000. So, but that means his content sucks. Yours is better. But, with the lower numbers, it's hard to work. But anyway, so the first 60 minutes works with the big creators because, of course, it gives a lot of time and it gives, it goes over more period of time. So I guess if you're a big creator, you could watch this statistic more closely because if it gets you 2% more impressions, viewers, likes, whatever, it's a big number. It's still a big number. So if you're selling something through that, so, okay, most straight out selling content pieces will not get much of an engagement, but still for the person who's selling with a lot of followers, 2,000 more sales is good. For you, if you got 1,000 followers, 5% is 50 more people that will see it. It's good. 50 people is a big crowd. Don't get me wrong, but is it really worth jumping over loops and crawling under, whatever? So it's just don't go all crazy about the first 60 minutes because I've gotten posts when I had 2,000 followers. I still got posts that I posted on LinkedIn, for example, at 10 p.m., 11 p.m., went to bed, woke up 6 and 8, sleep 6 hours, typical for nutty people. So I went from, I let the content sit there. It got something over in the time zones where it's daytime at the time overnight. So I got some impressions regardless. Woke up, started engaging, and that's where the algorithm picked it up and started doing it. And then when it started pushing it and showing me, oh, Karel has engaged with this, like that, commented here, and then it shows my stuff as well. Because when I post and when somebody comments, you comment back, so it kind of like gets the people to notice. Even if they give you a like and you leave a comment, somebody else leaves a comment. The algorithm tries to drag other people back because there is engagement on there. So I got more impressions on certain posts, even if I did not utilize the first 60 minutes. So if you're making a lot of money being on LinkedIn, and if you are dependent on the income as per like how many exactly impressions and how quickly you get them out there, do follow the 60-minute rule. If you're just starting out, I wouldn't stress it. Anyway, next point, quality filter, content assessed for spam and relevance. That's a biggie because, again, now the pure AI generated content, the AI knows if AI wrote it. We actually did a fun stuff with my son the other day. We did we experimented where we used somebody's content. And again, I'm not going to use names, but we used somebody's content, threw it into ChatGPT, and said, "Did AI write this?" And ChatGPT said, "Yes, it did." Then we put my content, which I know I've written 100% purely by myself, and said, "Well, I can still see some AI things in there because, you know, there are certain things that come together. The merging points, the intersections where you got to follow certain rules for engagement for people. So then the AI has a hard time differentiating whether AI intended to do this and then not. So it's it's probably got some percentage of that, but it's not purely AI." So then we start another chat and we put my thing in there in another chat. He says, "No, this is not written by AI." So the AI sort of, it tries to please you because, again, even ChatGPT, Gemini, and all these others, Perplexity, they just want your screen time. Again, nothing else. And it's just like, to me, it seems almost like a social platform. We're like, come to us, stay here the longest possible. We will tell you what you like to hear. It's kind of like the LinkedIn feed and Facebook feed. And, your feed is constructed by what you've liked before. Same thing with SEO. It's always the same thing. Engagement value. Comments valued higher than likes. Comments valued higher than likes. Why? Simple. Because, again, clicking on the like, you know, whoops, I clicked someplace else. No, but I want to make a sound effect. I just did 10 likes. Okay. Well, when I have to type, it takes a lot more time to write out. And hence, comments increase screen time. I don't know how many percentage time more, but it depends on how long, of course, your comment is. For example, Instagram has a rule that a comment does not constitute a comment until 4 words. How? Well, because again, they don't want people saying, "Hey, great post." BS. What happens is there's not enough increased screen time, so who cares? So that's why the engagement value makes a big difference. Sorry about that. I didn't open up my water. Wider audience, network distribution. Uh, Wider audience. Let me see if I switch this here. Yeah, that's all we have there. Um, Wider audience reached with sustained engagement, network distribution. Yes, that is a pretty much of a basic, especially on LinkedIn for sure, because it is when you engage, and this is why I did want to write, and maybe I did even reciprocity on LinkedIn. Worry about it, but not so much, because the reason why you are engaging on LinkedIn is not not to get reciprocal comments back. They help. They're nice. If you feel like it, go ahead, do it. But generally, why you want to engage is to see your or have increase your second level connections. Let's put it that way. So second level connections get reached when you comment on somebody's post. Of course, you want to be commenting on people that also have comments. But even if you don't, if somebody knows about, like, first, the LinkedIn algorithm or feed will show you saying, okay, you to your first level connections, it will say, okay, Corel just commented on this, and and on the other side is people that will see the post of the second level connections that see the post on their feed because their first level connections with whoever you have in common. You reach all of those people. So say you comment on somebody who's got 10,000 connections, potentially you could get 10,000 visibility on your comment. And that's something also that LinkedIn, I haven't found anything that LinkedIn would yet disclose these comments, the statistics, how many people saw your comments. But definitely LinkedIn does take your activity into account, and this is how you do it. If the people that you comment on, oh, they don't get back to you, they don't comment on your thing, don't worry about it. You still commented, you left your footprint. And that's what social media is about, leaving good footprints. Okay. So let's go to slide number 4. Yes. There we go. Change the angle a little bit. Slide number 4. Facebook algorithm personal connections. My, I guess, greatest achievement on Facebook was to build a 10,000 people group focused on betting. Took me a couple of years. Did some giveaways with betting agencies and stuff like that. Let's look at this nice, beautiful circle. Meaningful interactions, comments and shares outweigh passive reactions. Again, same thing. If you want to go to Facebook, if you leave comments, people interact with you, they come back to you. Screen. And again, comments. I said that even about Instagram now. This is here, personal connections. So, comments and shares outweigh passive reactions. I'm not really sure how LinkedIn looks at this, but Facebook does like when you passively share for sure. Friends and family, content from close connections prioritized. Yes, Facebook was always about bringing people together. So there you go. You bring people together. Groups and events. Community engagement boosts visibility for sure. And Facebook did a great job. And like I said, on groups and events, I mean, I've done well on with the groups on Facebook. And I'm sort of missing that aspect. I mean, I started the social media sojourn group, but I'm not really developing it yet. However, still LinkedIn sort of lags behind Facebook in this in the groups. The events are great because, for example, you can do an outreach to everybody who signs up for your event. So you always want to use your 1,000. This event, for example, I started last night. I was like, I don't care. But tonight I'll do one for next week. I'm not sure if I want to do one by myself. Maybe I'll do something with my son. Maybe I'll do something. I'll invite somebody to do something with me. It depends. I'll do that tonight, tomorrow, something. I'll figure it out. But anyway, so and video content, higher reach than static posts. Yes, we are creatures of visual, pleasing the visual sense. So yeah, no matter what you're gonna do, is you're going to always attract more people with video. That's why LinkedIn started promoting it, started boosting it again. It's not because they care about video; they care about the screen time, and it increases. And also, it's the uh, video increases screen time, and that's all anybody cares about. Try to use a zoom here on me. No, zoom is fine. I just did the. If I hit this, it just goes unfocused. If I leave it like that, it's better. Anyway, so yeah, the video platform was boosted on LinkedIn, the video content, and now it lost its boost again. But video is definitely number one shared. It attacks all your senses, audio, visual, and just make it fun. And there's a lot of competition, so no matter what you do, and that's what I wrote yesterday, is you got to do it as a professional. You got to do it right. If you don't do it right, if you do it mediocre, yeah, maybe you should not be doing it at all, or just do it, but don't expect any huge results. But that's why there's a lot of people that say, well, I'll try this digital marketing stuff, and I did it with this guy who's got 15,000 followers, and I was like, does he have any engagement on his posts? No. I was like, well, he's a scammer. Simple as that. He just inflated it by bots, and now he's selling you the rainmaker. Yes, I'll make it rain. Well, there's a whatever percent chance that it's going to rain and it's not going to rain, but you don't affect it. And so same thing with here is like the guy will do something for you, will not get the results you're expecting, what he told you about. It's like, oh, well, it didn't work, but he still got your money. So, but if you do it yourself and you're surprised, you're like, oh, it doesn't work. Well, because you don't know how to utilize the algorithm in your favor. So this is the basic thing about Facebook. And yes, it's about friends and family more than LinkedIn is professional. And that's why I'm doing this on LinkedIn and I'm doing this on YouTube. Now, Instagram. Again, I'm going to compare this back to LinkedIn. Is Instagram has 80%, 80 or 90% of users actually are content creators. Not because they're highly professional or whatever, but they send their messages and they upload the stuff. So professionalism matters only if you're trying to achieve business results. But if you're just doing it for fun and just share with your friends, do whatever you want. I mean, it's fine. And that's why Instagram is so simple because you just take the phone, click, oh, yeah, look, I posted on Instagram. Everybody can see it. There's nothing wrong with it. And that's why Instagram has a little different things, but a little different rules, but it's enjoying a lot of engagement because it's got simple stuff. Not only professionals trying to look professional, but people taking the number one picture on Facebook is a slice of pizza. So, I mean, Facebook, Instagram. So that's the number one. Food is the number one topic, and pizza is the number one picture among foods. But otherwise, if you want to do marketing on Instagram, you only do travel. Uh, it's food, travel, fashion, stuff like that. Trying to sell smaller stuff or promoting visual stuff. Whereas ideas or like coding, like we do websites. So, but I would not be really promoting websites on. I mean, I don't know how even like never found the right messaging. You could do it, but it's not the right audience there. People want to find a picture of pizza or a cat or something like that. They're not looking for. They're not looking for professional advice on Instagram. So how does Instagram do this? Visual discovery, initial analysis, AI scans, content type, hashtags, and user history. It's another big topic. Hashtags because LinkedIn kind of got away from hashtags altogether completely, almost now. I mean, I still use them, but I don't think they have any effect. They used to have. I was just doing the LinkedIn the profile makeovers I do, just working on one, and it was like, oh shoot, look, there's a new update. There's not even hashtags in the LinkedIn profile up the top because they just don't want to be using them anymore. So you could see them fading away the hashtags on LinkedIn, whereas Instagram is basically hashtags. That's the top platform. This and I believe also Twitter. However, I've been using Twitter a little bit. But I'm not going to get into Twitter too much because I have not explored that platform too much. Tried it, posted something, got some followers, like 100, and then I was like, then it just went away. I think I got hit by some bot farm that just wanted to follow me. I don't know. So yeah, content type, the AI scans, then it checks the hashtags if it's relevant to the content, and it looks at your history. So again, if you try to be a Instagram influencer, your content has to be on a single topic. And if it's on a single topic, what happens is you get a bigger boost because there's a chance that people that will see that picture will also look at the other pictures that you have in history. And if your one is your cat, the other one is a beach, the third one is a pocketbook, fourth one is your car, and then whatever. It's just, if it doesn't follow a certain story or pattern, you're not going to get that much boosted. But hey, if you're using it for friends and family, fine, go ahead and do it. If you're trying to focus in on a certain product or business, stick to the rules. I mean, I've built to like 1,500 followers the Instagram, and it was just a food blog type thing. But I started off, I think I have like 900 posts because I've been doing Instagram for what, since 2011 is my first post or something like that on Instagram. And I used to do it through hockey with my son and stuff. I used to put a lot of stuff there. I was just sporting, going out, having fun. And then during COVID, I was like, let me refocus this just on food that I love to cook and some outside food that I get from restaurants. But generally, it was food and my creations. And so, yeah, the algorithm liked me. I had to have a lot of engagement, you know. So here, early engagement determines broader distribution. Yes and no again. I don't know. I mean, yes, definitely you will get see that boost. That's why you feel like it's that's what's driving it. No, it's really engagement again. It's if you engage again. On Instagram. Um, I used to have a lot of. I hit some groups of people in Asia, so it was like I was have a lot of followers and a lot of likes I've collected from Japan and China. Uh, well, Japan, yeah, Japan, China, and Korea. Those three. And I got like hundreds and hundreds of likes. And for people that want to use vanity metrics, it doesn't matter. But it really, when you collect these numbers, I'm not really going to sell any product to somebody in China. I could only do endorsements, which then they would, I would get paid for by the company. So it's China, Japan, or North Korea, or North Korea, South Korea, whatever Korea is. I don't even know if it was North or South. It was just Korean. But yeah, if you're looking at those far markets and you just want to get paid for endorsing products, yeah, you collect the vanity metrics and it doesn't matter. But if you're looking to start a local business and you're gonna just you want to attract the local crowd, try to focus in on the U.S. That's why I started doing it later. I was just focusing on U.S. based people. So but yeah, again, if you have the large numbers in the beginning, you need the numbers, and you'll when you're starting from zero, because I started on like I think 200 followers, and so to get to the 1,000, you just don't care. You just want to get over 1,000, so you become the what was it the micro influencer. So once you hit the 1,000, then you can start focusing it. So at first you don't care, then you start focusing it because again that's the difference. Anyway, so I would just be repeating the thing. Interest mapping, content match to similar user preferences. Yes, and that's the whole thing. Also, is when I was building it, you want to engage as much as possible with the people from your industry. In LinkedIn, it's a little bit difficult because you're basically doing it with your competition, but you do it anyway because you do want to be in that circle of influence of people that have the same thing that you're doing. So you want to be working with them, and the algorithm sees you as more relevant, so it will boost you more. Explore page placement. High performers reach non-followers. I'm not sure what the page placement means, but high performers reach non-followers. Yes, and that's one thing that YouTube gives you a statistic on. Instagram as well. LinkedIn doesn't. Leaves those statistics out completely out. Just skips it. But it's true that if you get, and it's the same thing on LinkedIn, you'll see it, but you will not see a statistic how many second connections commented on your post. So on Instagram, they'll tell you, and the more you reach other people, the more you're growing your market and your numbers and your target group or audience or whatever. So yeah, you always want to focus on your content. Your primary objective is to get the reach, to get your people, your connections to engage, like, comment, share, and then the algorithm will say, okay, now let's show it to the second level connections or the non-followers because oh yeah, look, he's got a lot of engagement in his circle. Let's go outside. Let's go outside that. So that's how that works. Which one is next? YouTube algorithm, video engagement. Okay, so yeah, this is one we spent a lot of time on with my son. Watch time, total minutes viewed per video. This statistic is great, but it's watch time on YouTube is watch time on YouTube just I split into two categories. Category number one is yes, YouTube wants you to get a certain amount of watch hours. Category number two is percentage viewed. And they sort of tied together, but if you record a beautiful video, you feel comfortable with it, it's all great and professional. It's got 30 minutes and just play an example as a number. And people only watch it for 2 minutes. It's got less value than a video there's a 5-minute video and has an 80% view, 80% view rate. I forget what the exact number is, but yeah, the percentage of the video viewed, content viewed, because again, it's about the time. It's about the platform taking people's time and using it for its own good, which is sell ads. So yeah, this is the thing with the view time, total minutes viewed per video. And yeah, it will boost a 5 minute video that has 80% more than it will boost a 30-minute video that's only like what percent to 10% view. Because hey, time is time. So that's how that works. Session duration. How long do you stay on a platform? Yeah, that's the total. That's sort of tied together. And then it's thumbnail and title effectiveness. Yeah, thumbnails. Gee, I wonder where this one got it from. It's probably pretty old because thumbnails are like hard to do now on YouTube even. So, and yeah, title effectiveness. That's like anything. I mean, people say that's one of the biggest myths is like, oh, I'm going to do an SEO analysis or optimization of your YouTube channel. There is no SEO on YouTube. See, people scroll. You can use some hashtags. They do work on YouTube, although people say they don't, but they do. I mean, we've seen some videos. We've tested some stuff. So you can, for example, when you do YouTube Shorts, you can only do a couple of hashtags in the title, original, but then you could go into a description. You could put up to, I forget if it's 50 or 40 something, but yeah, you put another 10, 20 hashtags in there. Your video will be found more a little bit. So it's pretty good. And audience retention, yes, and that's this they put this as last, but it's actually tied together to the first one. Is the percentage of video watched, and that's what I've discussed in the beginning. So we could skip this one because it's 10:40 and we got another 20 minutes left to go. Cross-platform similarities and differences. Similarities. User engagement prioritized, basically, aka screen time. Recency factors across all platforms. Yeah, are you relevant? Is it recent? Are you talking about something that happened 1,000 years ago and nobody cares about? Like 1,000-year-old news. I'm not talking about it from the history perspective, but some to go like, oh well, breaking news, something happened last year. Well, you're coming a little late to the fight, so it's over, and so nobody cares. So recency factors across all platforms. Yeah, they see what it is anyway. So machine learning analyzes patterns. What happens? Machine learns. People react, and then your next post, it could be crappy, but it will get bigger viewership or bigger boost by the algorithm because your previous posts have done this, and YouTube is pretty careful with that. Only recently have some reason we've seen some live webinar boosts that I've never seen that so far in the is it third year now? We're entering our third year of YouTube, and my son's paused on the shorts, and we're focusing on content, creating long form content now. And yeah, now all of a sudden, our longer form content, like for example, we make this live webinar, and I did this one a couple of weeks ago with Mark Harbeck, and the webinar did not get any viewers live, but then afterwards, it was like within a couple of days, it was like, oh, it's got 100 different views, and it only lasted like a minute or two. The views, the average view time, but got an extra like 50 to 100 views somewhere in that vicinity because the algorithm took it based on past performances and based on the topic. Because we talked about what else? We talked about SEO and GA4, Google Analytics 4, and Google likes that because it promotes its other platforms and content and other services. So it boosted us and gave us into the thing. Found it useful. Other people did too, obviously, and so we got another boost. So it's like, where's the 60 minutes? So, but content quality assessment, and there you go. That's what I just talked about. Content quality is evaluated based on how many people posted, how many people liked, how many people shared, how long did they stay, how long did they read it actually. So that's your content. Content quality assessment. That's the similarities on all the platforms, basically. Not the differences. LinkedIn values text LinkedIn values text, YouTube values videos. LinkedIn tried to make uh, video perform better, gave it like 20-30% boost, but now it stopped that. It went back to the old regular stuff. So if you want, and I said this right from the start, and I will say this again, if you want to do a lot of videos, use YouTube. We're going to talk about the Chinese platform. I'm off of that. I'm not going on that. If you really want to pay me a lot of money, me and my son will work on it, focus on it. But for free, I'm not going on there at all. I don't need it. Between Instagram Reels and YouTube, everything YouTube, you don't need to go on. You don't need to go on the Chinese hack. I call it the virus. Anyway, uh, same thing with Temu, by the way. Engagement windows vary 30 to 60 minutes. That's what all the YouTubers and grand wizards of social media will tell you. But the 30 60 is for the big guys. It's for smaller people with only a couple of thousand like me. I'll just comment anytime throughout the day and I'm fine. But yeah, they do react differently to your previous, prior, and later engagement, and it will boost it differently. And will, because there's different audiences as well. I mean, on LinkedIn, you're probably going to get more people, sort of a 9 to 5. Although, again, what's a 9 to 5 if in California is six? If in California it's 6 to 2. Is that really it? Does that really work? Or so if you're looking for California time, 9 to 5 would be 12 to 8 in New York. So again, the time is only a hypothetical thing that runs by, and then there's always, like everybody says, there's always 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock someplace in the world. Instagram prioritizes visuals over text. That's actually a funny one because I've been saying this for a long time, and people get these. I said, hey, if you want me to run your Instagram, this is the price, But people are like, well, a couple of thousand a month or whatever, and I could run your Instagram, no problem. But you got to give me something that's, that's you got to give me something that's valuable. Some, give me some content, whatever else. But Instagram prioritizes visuals over text is a simple thing where if you want to go cheap and you get a good social media manager for $200 a month, they'll do 50 Instagram, whatever, 20, 30, 40 posts a month on Instagram, and they're all text. Tell you what, there's zero engagement under those. Zero. So don't even bother. Don't even bother with I'm playing with my camera. But don't even bother with paying that money because you throw it out the window. I mean, Instagram is a visual platform, visual. So you need to have images. If somebody does these motivational, I tried them. I have a whole account for that. I think life insurance something, and I did try to do a lot of those posts, and I actually put the text over images. People don't read on Instagram. They want to see. They want to see a moving picture. A moving picture will always win, but they want to see. They want to see things visually, not read. If they want to read, they'll go to LinkedIn. So if you're paying somebody $200, $300, $400 a month to maintain your link Instagram, and they do these textual templates, and that's it, just sort of just blast them out. And 3 months later, they'll be telling you, well, it's got to warm up. It's got to warm up. With text, it will never warm up. They're generic. People don't come to read to Instagram. Like I say, this over and over and over again, and I will not. This is where I'm going to end that. So don't get scammed by posting textual posts on Instagram. Don't. Words are the great one. Don't. Facebook emphasizes personal connections. I would say that goes for all platforms. The only difference with yes, it will. Facebook is more focused on family and friends, so that's for sure. Sort of like predecessor of Snapchat, I think. A platform I don't use either, but hey. Anyway, so that's Facebook. But Facebook does work. There's a lot of resemblances, and here's best practices for LinkedIn and Facebook. Let's see what I say to that. LinkedIn dominance. Post during business hours. Yes, if that's where your target audience is, mornings generally could do well, but hey, it's sort of outdated, this information. You AI, but there's always 9 to 11 a.m. someplace, and so wherever you are, or even if you're in New York and your target audience is in, I don't know, Cairo, what's 9 to 11? Ask thoughtful questions in posts. For sure, you want to get people to think. Use 3 to 5 strategic hashtags. Uh, Used to be once upon a time 3 to 5 hashtags, fine, but don't expect much from it. Don't worry about the hashtags. Engage with comments within 60 minutes. We spent a lot of time on that. Again, if you're a big influencer, use it. You'll get your boost by 2, 3, 4, 5%. But other than that, it's more about the target audience. Facebook success: create shareable, discussion-worthy content. Yes, bots do a great job, and then you share, and people discuss. People get nasty. We all know Facebook heroes, so I'm not on it that much. Facebook success: use live video for 3 times for triple more engagement. Well, yes, but that goes for LinkedIn as well. So I would say this is something that they have in common. I'm not sure if it would be the 3 times more engagement, but definitely live content does get a lot of reach across platforms. And here I'm basically doing 2 for 1, where I'm creating a webinar on LinkedIn, but I'm also sending it to YouTube, and therefore I get 2 for 1 live content video. Post when your audience is active in the evening. That's probably true because most people go on Facebook at night to get into a good Facebook hero fight. But yeah, once upon a time, not for me now. I don't like the Facebook fights. And if you really want to have a good word off argumentation fight, go to Twitter. You'll find a lot of fun there. Anyway, so let's go to the next one. And what do we have here? Best practices: Instagram and YouTube. Instagram mastery: post high quality visuals daily. That's an interesting one because daily is good uh, if you are trying to put a lot of content out, and just reach most people. So you do Instagram, you can do a daily one, kind of like when you're starting out, it's good to do daily. Later on, when you start going to chase, when you start chasing a little bit more engagement, it's better to do 2 to 3 posts a week and let it sit there. Because what happens is most people, if they see your on Instagram, is what I've noticed, is most people that they see your post, whatever you posted, your picture, they'll like that. And if they go to your profile, if they literally find you through something, they will always post, they will always engage with the latest post. They will not go back too far. They will just go to 1, 2, 3 posts at the most. But most engagement gets is always received by the latest post. And so if you post every day, you sort of lose that because people don't go back 2 or 3 days. Most of them, only some of the, again, reciprocity people that help you grow and stuff. And yeah, those they will go back a couple. And I used to have a strategy where I used to really scroll down and like people's way back posts because I just thought it was a good idea. And I was trying to help them, be nice to them. So that's that one. And then use all features: feed, stories, reels. that's an important one, IGTV, because yeah, that is feed stories and reels is the way to go. Because again, Instagram likes video stories, they get reach, different type of reach. So yeah, definitely. I mean, my Instagram has now been degraded to only, I forget. I'm gonna see, but I only do now um, stories because they go on Facebook and stuff. And that's how I sort of stay in touch and relevant with the platforms. Oh, I had 1,500 followers. I only have 1,000. I guess I should start focusing on Instagram a little bit. But my last post got 41 likes and 3 comments. You can share, but I don't want to really. 29, 33. And yeah, you could do the boost. And when was that? October 21, 2023. And I did get 40 likes on that, which was Pizza Works in Peoria Heights. It's a very nice pizza. And so, anyway, so I haven't posted a post on LinkedIn for a while, on Instagram for a while, October 23. And yeah, I just do the stories and I still get my 30, 40, 50 people viewing my stories. So that's how you can stay in touch there. Respond to comments within 30 minutes for algorithm boost. Again, that's the algorithm boost. They just keep regurgitating the same thing because that's what everybody keeps throwing at you. But keep your own pace going and do your own thing. YouTube success. Create compelling thumbnails with faces. That is important to keep the face there. But then again, that goes for all platforms. Optimize titles with keywords. That goes for SEO. That goes for YouTube. That goes for LinkedIn as well. You do want to use power words, but the problem with today's AI is that power words is sort of starting to become spam or stop words in a lot of SEO and a lot of the what do you call it, SEO and the feed boost algorithms will now use a lot of those words like deep dive, delve, and stuff. It's kind of like, yeah, it used to be fun once upon a time, but now it's kind of like it's a almost a giveaway to the algorithm saying, listen, this is AI, so we're just not gonna, just don't worry about it. It's crap. We're not gonna even use it. So on YouTube, focus on the first 15 seconds. Aim for 8+ minute videos. Well, 8+ minute videos are fun if you have an audience. If you don't have an audience, your first videos before you get to at least 500 to 1,000 subscribers, you want to keep your videos at under 2 minutes, even the long form, so called, because YouTube Shorts is the window for YouTube Shorts attention span is 15 to 30 seconds. You can make a YouTube Short that's a minute. However, that 1 minute will not be fulfilled, so you're going to just lower your percentage to view rate. And yeah, you want to keep it under 30 seconds a YouTube Short, and when you're starting off, under 2 minutes. 2 reasons. Number one is you don't have the followers, so it's not going to reach a lot of people. So there's a lot less of a chance that anybody will actually stick out to 2 minutes. Number two is when you're starting out, you suck, just like we did, just like I did, just like my son did. So people are not going to stick around because you suck. So as you get better at it, add the time, because then you can captivate attention. You can hold people's attention, and the more your subscribers grow, the better you get at it. So 8+ minute videos is a good advice, but after a while, don't start off with 8 minute videos because you're not going to get anywhere. So that's my experience talking over the AI from Gamma. Anyway, let's stretch this out. Let's see. Analytics focus. Track engagement metrics weekly. You can track them daily and learn from that. But if you're going into social media battlefield, if you're entering the social media battlefield, the best way to put it, I guess, is let me take a drink again. Don't expect instant results. That's what it is. Don't expect amazing results. So by tracking your stuff often can actually get you discouraged. because it's a rough world out there, and the battle is tough, and the competition is big, and not everybody knows what they're doing, but they can pull wool over people's eyes very easily. Some of the sweet talkers, but it all comes down with engagement. It all comes down with experience. And yes, you track your numbers always because you learn from it. You don't track them saying hoping you achieved your goals in a week. You track them to know if you're doing well or bad. And we did that a lot on when we were analyzing the YouTube algorithm because I mean I started not knowing anything about it. And then you look at it, it's like, where did you start? Which words did you use? And the title is okay. You want to use a power word, but it's got to be in a visible screen on top of that, on top of your in the LinkedIn, in the YouTube Shorts feed. It's got to be one of the first 3 or 5 words. If you use your power word later, or the main word, doesn't have to be a power word. It's like the topic of the video has got to be on the first spot, first 2, 3 words. It's the same thing like SEO. Is you want to start off with that word. Sometimes you can't fit it in, but yeah, so you're gonna put a number 3, number 4, but it's got to be there for people to know what it's about. So tell the people right off the bat. Don't hide it in the second or third sentence. You're gonna get lost. So double down on what works for your audience. Yes, and that's the whole thing. And when you're starting, when we had like 12 people following us, so subscribers on YouTube, same thing on LinkedIn or Instagram. It's hard to know what works. Why? Well, because you get no feedback. So yeah, track engagement metrics daily, weekly, whatever suits you. But then also take it into account with the overall picture that you're building something. And it took 3 weeks of my videos to convince my son to start doing them, and then it took him about a month before he got his first 1,000 view video. It took him 6 months before he got his first 70,000 view video. So was he doing something wrong? No, but many things have to come together for you to get the actual engagement and numbers and achievements. Takes time. So if you don't, that's a YouTube short. We're still waiting for tens of thousands of views on our long form, which we're sort of lagging behind. But hey, life happens, and we're not getting millions to build our own channels. So if we were, if it was a moneymaker, great, but it's not. It's just social media when you're doing it for yourself and just for your fun and to learn. Hey, you do it in your spare time. That's what it is. So let's go to number 10. Let me disappear and I can appear again. No? Oh, that's because I had this one. This screen, here we go. 10 out of 10 key takeaways for dominating social media. Platform uniqueness. I think this one will, let's see what happens if I do it. Wow, that becomes small. Okay, well, this one's something different. Close this. Platform uniqueness. Tailor content to each platform's algorithm preferences. Yes, there are certain differences in the way algorithms work, and there are certain, it's basically this, you tailor content to each platform's algorithm preferences, which are its user preferences, because machine learning learns from the users. So that's how you get that one. Engagement focus. Create content that sparks meaningful interactions. Yes, 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 and yes. You need to create such content that will people actually want to engage with. And engagement is, again, I would say I will put that in the pyramid. I would put that at the base of the pyramid because the engagement is what builds your social media empire. That's what it is. Empire Strikes Back. Social media empire will be built on engagement. No matter where you go, no matter what you're selling, no matter what you're doing on social media, is going to be always about engagement, aka being social. What a surprise. So that's that one. And let's go to here. The number 3, consistency. Maintain regular posting schedule at optimal times. Yes and no, it depends. But definitely on Instagram, I've noticed the regularity helps the time that people are on there and it will react much better. On YouTube, yes, if you're looking for the instant result. But for example, we did have a video that we posted on YouTube and it got boosted 48 hours later. When the algorithm found the optimal ideal target audience, it will boost it even to it's like we were like, wow, this video really sucked. Like, what did we do? I mean, there was nothing wrong with it. I mean, all the indicators were right, and all the people that were watching it were right. Um, like we had like even high numbers. It was like 80% view rate, 80 only 20% swipe away. Yet it did not get boosted into the by the feed, into by the algorithm into the feed. And so you're wondering like, what the hell's going on here? And then 2 days later, woo, 10,000 views. I was like, okay, well, I guess that's what it was doing. It was waiting for the audience to show up. So, hard to predict. Nobody's the master of the algorithms, and I tell you what, not even the owners of the algorithms have a mastery of it. So you got to tweak it all the time because something always gives away. Something always goes off on a tangent because people find ways to hack it. People find ways to bypass certain things and stuff. So the algorithm has to adjust. I mean, it does. And then they're like, well, because there's now so many different variables and indicators, you ask now when you talk about SEO, you ask Google like, is this going to perform good or great? They're like, well, it should, because most of the stuff that we know about that affects it is there. You're like, what do you mean you're not sure? Well, because we got 2 million different KPIs in there, and and we give them certain percentages, weight, impact, and we don't know how it's going to react. And then if all of a sudden they start seeing more spam taking over the search results, same way on the social media platform, it's kind of like, well, now we got to tweak the algorithm again. So it's a pretty complex thing. And I don't think there's any one single person that really knows every single last detail of all these algorithms. So when the influencer is like, this is a guaranteed, use my 7 ways method, proven method to do this. Yeah, if he did that like 5 years ago, I can tell you right now, is the algorithms have adjusted to you hacking it 5 or 7 years ago. So whatever worked last year doesn't work anymore today. And with AI adapting so quickly, of course it's not going to work. Adaptability is number 4. Monitor performance and adjust the algorithm to algorithm changes. Like I said, that's what we do all the time. And there's no one person that knows it all. So if an influencer, sort of, or person with a big following will tell you, well, this is the guaranteed, proven. It's like, no, you don't know. And then it's like, oh, well, this is what we studied. And there's also one thing about this proven stuff is there's a strategy that works, and I sort of hinted at it and mentioned it off the thing. But let's say somebody will with 100,000 followers will study the algorithm, okay, and they will analyze it on their what do you call it, on their how do I appear, not disappear? If they study if they do an analysis of different posts, how they perform, and they got 100,000 followers, it's going to work differently. It's going to work differently than on a because the algorithm treats somebody with 100,000 followers differently than it does somebody with 10,000 followers, somebody with 500 followers. The social selling index, for example, score on LinkedIn is a big indicator. And if you're in, like, let's say 10%, not to 2%, the algorithm will treat you differently. And YouTube has the same thing, and everybody else has the same thing. That's why I said, after now in the 3rd year of YouTube, we're getting our live events posted. I mean, I've been posting live events to YouTube Global Productions channel for how long? 4 years now almost. And none of them got boosted. Now all of a sudden it's getting boosted because it learned. It did, oh yeah, look, people actually want to listen to some of the stuff that he has to say. So that's how it works. And yeah, if you have any questions regarding this, you could still comment below, and I will be going back to this post and watching it and answering. But should have said that right from the start. If you had any particular questions on anything, then do that. But because it was a late announcement of this webinar, you're most likely watching a rerun. So don't be afraid to do it. Hit it. Happy Friday. See you over the weekend. Maybe we'll do a whole beer-a-thon again. We haven't done that in a couple of weeks. And then do come to see my son's weekly reflection. Last week we had a lot of fun and engagement finally after 3 weeks, and that's what it is. I think it was like his number 7 or 8. We should be numbering them, but we didn't. And we had actually 7 live peak viewers, and a lot of that means about 12 people watched it, but at the same time it was 7. And there was a lot of comments, a lot of engagement. It only took him 2 months to get to that level. So again, track, assess, evaluate, adapt, but just keep going. Consistency. Happy Friday.